Welcome to the recording for the assignment called Implementation of Game Mechanics. And implementation of game mechanics, you can see, is worth 100 points, so it's a major assignment. Remember, this course has 1,000 points overall, so this is 10% of your grade, so there's some high expectations for the work on this. And if I look over here in the gameplay unit, here's implementation of game mechanics right down here at the bottom. Now in this, what we've done so far is we started, I'm going to go back a little bit, we started in the game elements unit. In the game elements unit, you did your first design. That was 100 points. This was the whole idea of a game that you might want to create someday. And just a crazy game, crazy idea of yours. So we did that. That was a big assignment. Then we built on that one. In last week's, you created a character. Again, another 100 points, and you took a character from that game from the previous week, and you did all of this work on that character. And again, this was a major assignment, 100 points. Now, we're getting into the gameplay part of this. And if you think about it, if we go back to your first design, you see we did, there's the characters, and now we're getting into, so this was the first design, and then the character work you did as a big project in creating content in week 4. Then in week 5, you're getting into the rules and challenges and strategies. That's all about gameplay, isn't it? Levels of play. In fact, most of this stuff is about levels of play. Well, that's about gameplay, and that's the unit we're in, gameplay. So those are the things that you're going to be looking at when you do this implementation of game mechanics. So here we are, implementation of game mechanics. So you're going to create a prototype storyboard. Now, I went over storyboard. That's right here. There's an assignment called storyboard right here. I went over that, and that assignment is about creating a storyboard for an older game. And this unit in section 8 talks about storyboarding. You can also do research online, a Google search on storyboarding for games, and get a general idea about it. But storyboarding is where you sketch out and you design what your game is going to look like from stage to stage to stage, or level to level to level, etc. And you can use PowerPoint or another presentation software like OpenOffice, or you can use Prezi or something like that to create your storyboard. You're going to draw all your own characters and environments. So again, if you draw things, you're going to draw them on a piece of paper, take a picture with your phone, create the image, and then the image you can put into your PowerPoint. Or you can do the drawings, you can sketch it in. But you're going to draw some characters, probably 2 or 3 characters, and probably 2 or 3 of the environments of your game at different levels. So you're going to have a different slide for each level. So if we look at this, a different slide for each level. So you could probably have the name of the game and the basic story. You could probably have those on the first slide, maybe even with one of your sketches. So you could have those on the first slide. So that's one slide. Second gameplay constraints or rules. Well, this unit, gameplay unit, it talks about rules. So you need to remember, and this just isn't, well, the main rule of the game is to shoot the other people before they shoot you, and that's it. No, there are gameplay constraints, which are, if you reach a certain level and you get to move on, or if your health gets down to 50%, then you lose the ability to do this skill or that skill. So you're going to have some major constraints or rules as part of the game that you're going to discuss in here. So that's going to be a major slide in itself. And remember, on doing PowerPoints, these are probably just going to be like bullet items, not a big long paragraph, but bulleted lists of things. The goals of the game, different levels or different goals that you have. Well, the goal of the game is to get out or get away from the zombies. Well, there has to be more goals than just that, because you want to have goals so you can get more skills or weapons and different things. So break your game down into different goals, and you learned about all of that early on in this game. It talked about how you design goals, how you have a major goal at the end and you have all these sub goals. So when you get to the slide about goals, you're going to probably talk about your major goal, and then you'll have sub goals to do along the way. Then finally, what are your levels going to be like? And as this says up here, different slide for each level. So if I look at this, here's one slide, gameplay constraints is second slide, goals, that's going to be 2 or maybe 3 slide. Okay, game name and basic story is 1 slide. Gameplay constraints is a second slide. Goals might be a 3rd slide, maybe even a 4th slide. Then level designing, if you have 4 or 5 levels, then it's going to be 4 or 5 slides. So this is going to probably be 5 to 9 to even 10 slides, this whole presentation. And for each level slide, you're going to include the goals of the level, what sound effects you might use, and you don't have to have the sound effects, but an idea of the sound effects, what music or narration you might have, all of those types of things. So you're going to discuss everything that pertains to the levels. Because as you work on this, remember you're designing this because then you're going to turn it into the design team and they're going to go off of whatever notes you have in here. So the better your notes are, the easier their work will be, and the better they will be able to start developing your game. You can even, if you want to, you could use the animation features of PowerPoint or your presentation software to simulate or make it look like the gameplay a little bit. So if you want to get fancy, you can do that. Now there's not a lot of work for this week. There's the write-up, the finishing plan. The write-up would be a half an hour. Finishing plan might take you 10 minutes. The assignment storyboard might take you an hour. The rules quiz might take you, find the answers and do the quiz might take you half an hour at the most. This assignment, this might be 2 or 3 or 4 hours at different times. I wouldn't sit down for 1 hour and try to do all the work. But this is a major assignment, 100 points. I just don't want a piece of junk turned in. If it's a piece of junk, you're going to probably get a D or a low C or something. It's going to take a lot to get into the 90s to score on this. So anyway, that's the work. Hopefully you understand it. If not, shoot me a K-mail, and I look forward to some really good work coming in. Thank you, everybody. Bye.